Nova Nordisk jumps on the Lilly wagon, and now Semaglutide is on the chopping block. Let's get into it. It's Jasmine Nicole. Welcome and welcome back to Wait with Jazz. This is breaking GLP-1 news, all be it concerning, to share in regard to semaglutide. Now, there's been a whole bunch of rhetoric, legal rhetoric, in regard to Tirzepatide compound. We know that OFA versus FDA lawsuit is still in place. Motions were made. A stay order was issued for the compounds to remain, Tirzepatide compound to remain, um, until otherwise ordered by the FDA. Now, that, sent alarms, and since then, Lilly has been sending cease and desist orders to separate categories within the compound market, okay? Targeted in different categories, targeting the telehealth compound pharmacy, targeting the med spa, and targeting a compound research pharmacy or facility, whatnot, that produces peptides for research purposes. Typically, these uh, products are stamped with research purposes only, not for human consumption. However, people still attempt to pursue them in the wake of the shortages, in the wake of insurance denials, in the wake of compounds tentatively coming to an end. So, just a number of factors that raises flags and alarms as far as safety. This legal move right here is pretty much backing and complementing the move that Eli Lilly is making, the moves Eli Lilly are making with Tirzepatide, trying to get Tirzepatide uh, out of storage, permanently listed out of storage, therefore discontinuing pretty much the production of Tirzepatide compound by 503A pharmacies. So what's going on now is Nova Nordisk Hi. petitions the FDA as of October 22nd, 2024. Petitions the Food Drug Administration to have semaglutide added to the, that's right, demonstrably difficult compound list. So the request is to have semaglutide added to the demonstrably difficult compound list. So this sounds like this is a what is it, like an anti-list, or like a do not produce list. This is like ultimately a list that ensures that the compound cannot be produced, and if it's produced, then it be produced under illegal terms. So it cannot be legally produced. Um, so I mean, this the argument here is behind safety. So I'm not going to devalue the argument because I do understand the safety concerns, but at the same time, it still looks like a legal and business angle to try to discontinue a market that's running favorably in revenue, which is the compound pharmacy market, to further continue and sustain the purchases of big brand GLP-1 products, big brand GLP-1 medication rather, transition compound users, self-payers, whatnot, to the brand, monopolize the market to only have the brand GLP-1 medications available. That's only the medication that can be used. Ultimately, this is the idea of, in my opinion, the idea of Lilly and Novo Nordisk. This is what the picture is painting. They're trying to X out other parties they feel are irrelevant or should be irrelevant to GLP-1 medication production, and only put monopolizing authority on the two investors or the two GLP-1 creators that are in the market now, Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly. It's creating a monopoly. Cancel out all other forms of GLP-1 medication. This is what the efforts is. Now, the argument is behind safety, like I said again, and it is understandable because what Novo Nordisk is arguing and alleging believes that the compound production of semaglutide is contaminated. The production of it is contaminated. Your impurity concerns. I feel like the compound process of production is not appropriate to maintain the safety of the medications for its patients. They, not they, Novo Nordisk alleges the creation of impurities within the medication and inconsistent dosing, which leads to underdosing and overdosing, which has allegedly been reported to poison control in regard to semaglutide. Don't know how many cases were reported, what doses were specifically taken by the patient. Did the patient follow instructions? We really don't know all the details on that, but we just know the crust of the allegations are behind safety concerns, which holds a very viable argument. So with that argument, that's going to get the FDA's attention. So, and it has, because at the end of the day, you have to preserve human safety. With the allocation of these medications, you have to preserve human safety. Um, what does this mean right now? Does it mean that semaglutide is getting banned? If it's granted for this medication to be added to the what is it, demonstrate? Well, no, I said it wrong. The demonstrably difficult compound list, then that would be the end of semaglutide compound. I just did a video not too long ago saying, what's the plan when semaglutide comes off of the shortage list? What's that plan? Now, this is not a matter of it coming off the shortage list. This is a different approach. This is a matter of completely discontinuing all efforts for semaglutide compound production, not based on shortage, but based on contamination, based on safety concerns. Now, there has to be more investigations put into this. The board, the compound advisory board needs to review. Like, so there's layers of legality, layers of legal process that has to take place. This is not just going to be banned tomorrow. There's going to be a trajectory on process and review. But it looks like this is in the posture. This is the motion that was made. So now this is Novo Nordisk's legal approach. Now, what this is going to do for semaglutide compounds, I believe it still should be available until the outcome of this decision. Now, the outcome of this decision can span up to a year. Anything dealing with legal processing and determinations and further investigations and reviews and assessments, stuff that has to go in front of several parties of different levels, all of that for review, consulting, stipulations, all of that takes time. But within that time, it is going to give us patients enough time to come up with a plan, because everybody's exit plan from Tirzepatide was Semaglutide. Y'all, everybody's exit plan, from my knowledge, was transitioning from Tirzepatide to Semaglutide if Tirzepatide no longer is in shortage. Now, here come Mr. Here come Mr. And Semaglutide is in jeopardy, possibly on the brink of being banned. Not meaning that the the restoration of the compound cannot move forward. Like, it cannot be restored. Like, say for instance, a shortage continues, that'll give the FDA, that allotment for semaglutide to be produced, but not with this approach. This is like a banning approach. So in the event of a shortage, the compound semaglutide would not be able to be produced based off of this anti-banning list. Anti-compound banning list is pretty much what it is. I mean, I find these really interesting and concerning. Not sending y'all into a panic, but um, have plan in place. Have plans in place. Because really, the only plan that looks like is viable is that everybody is pretty much being pushed back into the big box, big brand GLP-1 medication lane. Folks are going to have to conform to self-paying or continue to push the authorization process of approval for for the brand medication through insurance. This is what pretty much is happening live. Compound users are being ushered out of compounds and redirected back into the direction of brand name GLP-1 medication, which are what the big hitters want. Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, they want all of the customers to be loyal to the brand medication and not the compound medication, unless the medical, a medical necessity, of course. That is always a stipulation. If there's a medical necessity, something, in regards to an allergic reaction or something, then the compound use is supported. But other than that, with the GLP-1 situation, uh-uh. Lilly and Nova are not really trying to hear it. Sounds like they're not having it. They are exercising every approach and every strategy to deviate away from compound production. And where does that leave us, folks? On the chopping block, indecisive, trying to figure out, okay, how I'm going to financially afford this GLP-1 medication. Send me back into anxiety of going through prior authorization processes that get denied, this, that, the third, woo, 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 woo. But the conclusion is we're going to have to go back to the big box. If this stuff doesn't settle out in the favor of the compound pharmacies, we are going to have to go back to the big box. Zepbound vials for the chronic obese, Zepbound pens for the chronic obese, Mounjaro for the diabetics, and in some cases, Mounjaro off label for obesity as well. However, you can work it to get your medication. The big brand is a medication that is going to be provided, essentially. It's going to be more difficult and difficult to find compounded medication, although they're still available. Tirzepatide is still available in from different providers. And there are modifications to some of these compound Tirzepatide medications. Henry Meds being one of them, offering an oral Tirzepatide, which I find really interesting and I'm looking deeper into because it's something that I'm strongly considering. Excuse me. Once I get the deets on everything that's in it, you know your girl is going to get the research because I'm going to make sure I have everything that I need to continue to maintain and be the best me. I feel amazing. Um, I love my level of weight management. I don't want to go backwards. I'm going to continue to move forward in the systems that I'm using. GLP-1 and Lipo B doing wonders. It's doing wonders for mood stabilization, for anemic symptoms, for muscle restoration, for metabolism boosting, and most importantly for fat burning in those hard to reach areas of the body that fat deposit sits and resonates and you can't get it. Fat burning is essential. Appetite suppression is essential. Them two are wonderful couples together. And I'm going to remain. Okay? I'm going to remain. I'm going to make sure I get what I need to get. So if that means Jasmine will be taking a oral tablet to see what that's about, then I will take an oral tablet. I'm being within reason here, and I hope you guys are within reason here in setting up your plans. Okay, so I'm entertaining the oral tablet from a compound pharmacy because I just like Tirzepatide, and I actually want to see what effects the oral tablet would do for me as I'm in maintenance. Everybody's results may differ, but I want to get firsthand data based on how it affects me. It may do very well wonders for me. And what I'm thinking is this is an oral tablet, and an oral tablet has to be taken daily. I'm looking at an advantage point from this because with the life expectancy of a standard injection of GLP-1 medication, it's typically exceeds its efficacy within 5 days. So you have 2 days left in a 7-day week. You getting your hunger cues, your snack food noise coming in hard. You're losing your suppression. It's not as heavy as it was by day 5. But with an oral Tirzepatide medication, you're taking it daily. That means, in my opinion, in my logic, that the level of efficacy is going to remain each day. See what I'm saying? So where it would have ran out on a 5th day via injectable, you taking a tablet on the 5th day will restore the efficacy at the same level. You taking that tablet on the 6th day will restore it. You taking it on the 7th day will restore it. So this is how I'm just thinking. Yeah, this is my logic, my research, just the way that I'm thinking and how I'm approaching this GLP-1 thing. Okay. So I really don't see a negative side to the oral tirzepatide. People may see a negative side to it who, have a very large amount of weight on them. And they feel like an injection would be more effective. But you don't know until you try. So that's what I'm in the market for trying, and that's my contingency plan is to give it a try. If I don't really like it, I don't, I'm in maintenance. So, I mean, what's the worst can it really do? I'm in maintenance. It's not like I'm waiting to lose a lot of weight. I'm in maintenance. I'm in body recomp. I mean, if anything, lose 5 pounds, and that's from my fat burner. But that's pretty much it. Other than that, I really don't see the harm in trying it out. And given the nature of what's going on with semaglutide and terzepatide compounds, I do not think all options should be off the table. Folks should be entertaining options. I know I am. So that's an option for me. Don't work out. I will go to my last one of the last resorts is Zepbound Bow. Can't really say semaglutide because semaglutide may not be available as a compound, y'all. Semaglutide may no longer be available contingency on this monstrous compound difficult list, or this monstrous difficult compound list. Child, the tea is real. The tea is real. And I am here for it. What are y'all doing? Did y'all hear about this news? How do you feel about it? Everybody had a fire plan to go right to semaglutide. That's not the case now. Well, it possibly could be. Like I said, this determination can span out to a year. In the interim, compounds are still going to be produced. Semaglutide is still being produced. And at this time, Tirzepatide is still being marginally produced. Um, and there's not much time left on the Tirzepatide compound situation. Waiting on a decision between OFA and FDA. So, y'all, we are in a legal limbo of limitations. Child, I didn't know it was going to get this funky. I did not know it was going to get this funky. I mean, and it's a little riveting, watching it live, but at the same time, it's concerning and can be demotivating for us folks who are really just trying to sustain weight loss, trying to get there and live our best lives through this medication and not go broke taking it. And not go broke taking it. So y'all, this is what it looks like. So now Tirzepatide and Semaglutide are on the chopping block. The compounds are on the chopping block. Have your plan in place and let one of those plans be remembering your natural GLP-1. Let's let's start practicing that, folks. Practicing eating fiber in appropriate volumes. Fiber is vegetable so that we stay full longer and then we have effective bowel movements to release the fat on out of our bodies. Let's eat protein proficiently and let's stay in the calorie deficit. So eat protein proficiently. Make sure you in the deficit. Eat fiber. Those components are strong components to managing the GLP-1, natural GLP-1 hormone within your body. The fiber is going to make you feel full longer, delaying your gastric system. The protein is going to give you that full satiation to make you feel full. The fiber added to it, it'll delay that fullness. Essentially what we want, but the only thing is you don't have that suppression. You don't have that natural suppression that comes without eating. See, the suppression without the medication has to come from your protein consumption. Consuming enough protein to give you that satiety to make you feel suppressed because you're satisfied and you're done. Or in addition to some intermittent fasting coupled in there. So, different modalities in place to get through it with the natural GLP-1 hormone. We still have to keep that in mind, y'all, in case situations like this happen, in case folks cannot go to the big brand whatsoever. Some just cannot entertain going to the big brand. So my heart is with those who are in that struggling situation because that's a hard financial decision to make. This is why the compound market just is essential for this demographic of people who don't want to go broke for their health, to try to stay alive, stay in the healthy form of themselves they should be in, but still be able to pay their rent, pay their mortgage, pay their car notes, pay their insurance, pay their tuition, pay their kids, blah blah. The list goes on. Handle their responsibilities, but still be able to take care of themselves with this GLP-1. So much is happening where it's putting everything in jeopardy. Tirzepatide is in jeopardy. Semaglutide is now in jeopardy. So where does that leave us? Have to work with our naturalness for a minute until you figure you have to work with the natural GLP-1 hormone, work with the existing medications that you currently have. Take it upon yourself now if you're able to start stockpiling, start making orders, sign up with different telehealth pharmacies. Get, if you're able to stockpile and there's a pharmacy that offers a deal for purchasing in bulk, purchase it if you can afford it. Keep in mind of the best use date and all of that. And yes, we do know, keep in mind that you're puncturing the valve multiple times. But listen, I'm new to this. Excuse me, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Okay, I've been split dosing and microdosing for a minute. I've been puncturing valves for a minute. So, over and over again, within the appropriate reason, um, of a medical provider. Okay, confirming that you can go in and out of the vial, but do what works for you. I know for me, I'm going to stretch a vial, and I've been doing it. I'm going to stretch a vial and continue to do it. If I have a vial, if I have oral medication, I'm going to take the oral medication. Maybe one day I might not take one. If you see what I'm saying? How you're able to still be able to manipulate your effects of side effects, this, that, and the third, even with an oral medication. This is why I'm really intrigued to try it. I'm going to have backup plans in place because at the end of the day, that oral Tirzepatide is looking righty lovely, and the price is looking righty lovely. So that's something I'm definitely strong to get into. I'm glad I did a video on it before when I noticed it. I'm like, oral Tirzepatide is available. Interesting. So let's be real, y'all. Let's be real. Okay. Because this argument that Nova is pushing is a valid argument. And if he can back it up with substantive evidence, details, and testimony, oh God, it may be then. It may be banned. It may be banned. We don't know. So it's a TBD to be determined. Keep your plans in place. Stay on board, y'all. Try to use your mental to get through. Keep yourself in a deficit. Keep up with your calories. Make sure you're exercising. Keep up with your calorie burn. We can get through this. We gonna get through this, and we still gonna live our best lives when all this is settled and done on GLP-1 medication, honey. Because I'm having the time of my life, and I'm gonna continue to use this GLP-1 medication by means, a legitimate means of a source. Okay. But I'm going to try my best to still use a compound source through a market first before going to the Zepbound vial. So y'all drop down in the comments about this information, this news. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know, what are you thinking about Nova's move? What are you thinking about Lilly's move? Do you think they're similarly mirroring each other? Do you think Nova is pretty much taking a page out of Lilly's manuscript, um, as far as getting these compounds eliminated? So that's the gist of GLP-1 breaking news. Thanks for tuning in. You guys like, comment, and subscribe. That helps my channel, boosts me up the algorithm, helps give this great information to more people coming in. There are newbies constantly coming in on compounds, on brand medication. Show your girls some love. Let's get this channel stronger, because the more strong it gets, the more motivated I get to create even more content. And that's how it works for most content creators. You feed us and we feed you. You feed us, we feed you. You give us that endorphin of motivation so that we can continue to push this channel in growth. We need each other. So thanks again. I will get at you in the next video. Be real.